Greetings, magical souls. I have the new container ready for our animals. I just wanted to share how this is different from the ones that I've had in the past. What I've really been called to do is to not just focus on the animals, but almost to create a container that can weave some kind of harmonic recalibration. That's the only way I can describe it. And what's coming for me is that what I'm doing with each of these containers is I'm going and I'm asking what the land needs. What does Gaia need at this moment? And so it's not to say that I need a gazillion containers, but really what it is, it's become more of like a triadic sort of container in that there is Gaia, the animals, and the humans now, because there needs to be some, I feel like we're moving into where we're starting to become a little bit more interconnected, and we can't really operate these things in isolation anymore, if that makes any sense. And so really what's come in for me is that the animals are not just shifting and reacting to energies anymore, but the animals themselves are actually becoming bridges for some of this light and the new frequencies that are coming in. But the other thing is that they're not reacting to these energies differently to what they might have done before just because they're sensitive, but they're taking on more because they've become almost these bridges. And what they're doing is it's not just a case of them being sensitive to the energies. Some of the humans around them are still misaligned, and they are now, because they are these bridges, they are taking on those energies as well. They're absorbing those energies. So this might not be directly for your household and your animals, because anybody that is watching this kind of thing and working like this energetically is generally somebody who's awoken from the slumber. But it could be your neighbors. It could be people that come around to visit. It could be members of your family that are maybe not uh, as awake as you are at this moment. So, what these new containers are is they are a way to almost just harmonize all of that. So, they are bringing in those three elements where we can all start working together. So, this is not really just a focus on the animals. I've worked with the energies in quite a unique way. So, there's probably going to be a couple, but I can't really label these as I used to work with specific frequencies and things for like fear or grounding or healing or pain or those kinds of things. And I was working a lot with the sounds of the solfeggios and that in my last containers. It's not to say that they still won't work. They absolutely will because they are timeless. They carry frequencies. But these I can't really label. So what I'm probably going to be doing is as I'm called just to maybe I'll just be guided like I've been guided now that I need to pop out another container. There's a different energy that's coming in, or there's a different kind of healing or transmutation. There's a different kind of weaving or harmonic that I want to bring in at the time that Gaia is calling for. And that kind of sets the tone for the container that I create. So what I would do with these new containers as they come out is because they won't be labeled with a specific sort of intentional condition, if you will, just be guided and ask which one you need to play for your animal today. If you feel like your animal is unsettled in some way, shape, or form, bearing in mind that these are also now much more, I mean, they weren't ever not able to be used for humans before, but now they're probably more calibrated for human use. So if you yourself are feeling out of sorts, use one of these animal containers. I'm still calling them animal containers because that's really where my intention is. My intention is to help the animals. Yes, we can all help ourselves. We don't need to rescue the animals, all that kind of thing. But because we have been so bad in our holding up our end of the bargain when the animals chose to come here into this earthly plane with us, and we said that we would look after them, and we've not done that. My focus really is on helping the animals. So that's the main intention of this container. But as I say, it's now becoming this sort of three-way triad or trinity, if you will, of Gaia, the humans, and the animals working together. And of course, when we work with Gaia, we work with all the plant spirits as well. And the elementals come into it, and all sorts of things. So there are different frequencies and energetics in these containers. So I just really wanted to explain this. And I'm not going to explain this probably on any of the other containers that I create. But what I will do is I will put something in the description of each for those that might stumble across future containers and not watch this video. The essence of these containers is that they are grounding, harmonizing, and stabilizing. So whatever your animal needs from it, it will be able to tune into those frequencies and almost just allow its body, and if you do it, your body will tune in, and just the body, the being will recalibrate itself to whatever frequencies are coming out of the container. So if you are, whether your animal's in pain, ungrounded, flighty, anxious, all those kinds of things, these can kind of all serve that same thing. And that's why I say use your intuition. As more and more come out, use your intuition as to which one you are called to play for your animal at the time. These will be available for longer tracks, each one I make. That I might not do all of them as a longer track. I'll see how I'm called, but the longer tracks will be available on my website. I will pop out YouTube posts on that when they are available, with a link to where they are on my website if anybody is interested in purchasing those longer tracks for their animals. Right, so with all that being said, here is the container. Please feel free, as you always do, to share in the comments whether you found, how you've even found it, how your animals found it, if you've noticed anything different. And the other containers can still most definitely be used. So please feel free to just pick anyone that is calling to you. The old ones are still timeless, and they still definitely have a purpose. In fact, you might find yourself being drawn to one that is grounding. Sometimes we don't know why we do these things. And if these containers do help your animals, please share them with your friends or family that might talk about their animals struggling. They might not understand it, but you can always just say, just play it for your animal. You don't need to understand the energetics of this. Play it for your animal and see how they go, even if people are skeptical. So share it with them, and, let's see. Thank you all again for your support, and wishing you all a magical rest of your day. And